In New York City, we've got this lack of affordable housing. It's hit a crisis point here with more and more families being priced out of their neighborhoods and being forced to leave the city altogether. It's happening nationwide too. All of this stuff is unacceptable. And it's really up for all of us to work together to find solutions to this problem. New York City has long been a beacon of hope and opportunity for people for all walks of life. But we got skyrocketing housing prices, so that hope is being eroded. Families are being forced to choose between paying rent or putting food on the table. And a lot of them can find themselves out on the streets. So we got to start to combat housing exclusion and ensure that everybody has access to safe and stable and affordable housing. So you got to have policies that prioritize the needs of low-income families and seniors and people with disabilities, people who are often the most vulnerable to housing insecurity. One solution is to increase funding for affordable housing programs like the New York City Housing Authority. You can also give tax incentives to developers to build affordable housing, and you encourage landlords to accept government-subsidized vouchers as a way of kind of paying for rent. We also got to address the issue of gentrification, which is driving up housing costs in a lot of neighborhoods. This can be done by protecting low-income housing. You can upzone the suburbs 20 miles around the city, and you can allow taller buildings in wealthy neighborhoods. And you can build a lot of new homes to prevent the displacement of longtime residents, like 1 million new homes in New York City. And then we got to have a more equitable housing market by ending discriminatory practices that stop people from getting the housing based on their race or their gender or their sexual identity or their disability status. You got to hold landlords accountable for violations of fair housing laws and ensure that everybody has an equal chance to secure housing. We have beautiful places to live in Brooklyn, in Manhattan, all over the place. The problem is that you'll see that old brownstones that used to have 5 rental units in them are being bought up, being renovated, and turned into beautiful single-family homes. They look wonderful, but you've ended up losing 3 or 4 units. 3 or 4 homes disappear as that old brownstone is converted into a single-family home. This starts to create a housing shortage and it puts pressure on them because those brownstones used to have some of the most affordable housing for folks living in Brooklyn, and they're gone now. We're not doing a whole lot to address any of this stuff, and we're certainly not building a lot of new homes. How would you fix this?